Something else. It's calling me.
Resistant ray.
Hey everybody, hopefully you've had a chance to see the movie by now. This is going to be my breakdown of some of the deleted scenes that the director and the producers have revealed. They said that there'd be about 20 minutes of footage that they'd add to the DVD. So a lot of these have finished CG, they just cut them out at the very last minute for time or because they were slowing the movie down. It's still a 2.5 hour long movie, making it the longest Star Wars movie of all time. So when I explain these, it'll make complete sense why they had to come out of the film. Like, oh yeah, people would have been even more pissed about that one particular scene. But if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's still a whole bunch we have to get through before the end of the year. I'm still doing that IMAX ticket giveaway. And because I didn't say it at the beginning of the video, just careful for spoilers from episode 8 because we will have to address some of the specific moments. But starting with some of the bigger stuff, they said that there was a lot of Finn, Rose, and DJ's character while they were on their way to Snoke's ship that they cut out. Rian Johnson said, and I'm quoting him when I say this, again, I will give the caveat that the movie is still better as a whole without any of them, but yeah man, there was some great stuff. There's a whole extended sequence where Finn and Rose and DJ sneak through the Mega Destroyer, which is the Supremacy, that's the actual name of Snoke's Star Destroyer. After they sneak in with DJ and they try to find the tracker, it's a full sequence of them sneaking around through this big office area of the Mega Destroyer and then having to fake out these stormtroopers. So you can see right away why they cut that out, because even though it was a great scene and it totally worked in the moment, in the finished film it just gave too much weight to those characters. There was already too much footage of them compared to the other storylines, and it's really supposed to be Luke Skywalker's film, his big moment where he spreads the legend and gives hope to everyone, so maybe they will join Leia's resistance. There's a whole other video that I have to make about Luke Skywalker. The director actually explained very specifically what was going on in his head when he wrote that moment where Luke showed up as a Force spirit, why he did what he did, and why it was so important for him that he die in this film and not in Episode 9. Even though J.J. Abrams is free to do pretty much whatever he wants, he doesn't have to focus on the same characters in the way that Rian Johnson did, but he does have to hit some really big signposts, so I will link my Episode 9 video at the end of this. But some of the biggest complaints that I saw on my review video and the Star Wars videos that I've been posting the last couple of days is that people really did not like Benicio del Toro's stutter, and they didn't like how much they favored those characters over Luke Skywalker, Rey, and Kylo Ren scenes. But surprisingly, a lot of these other deleted scenes are from Octu. They're either Rey scenes or they're Luke training Rey scenes, so people are probably more upset that they cut those, but they will make it onto the DVD. Then he goes on, and I'm quoting him when he says, and then they're on the island, there's this massive sequence that we shot with Daisy and Mark, which is kind of an additional sort of trial test that she goes through that involves her, Mark, and then this big emotional scene between the two of them. What he's talking about are those 3 Jedi lessons that Luke said that he would give to Rey. There were a lot of people after the movie that were confused because we only see a couple of the lessons. Like he says, in the morning, I'll give you 3 lessons and explain to you why it's important that the Jedi need to end. And we really only get the first lesson and then the last lesson before he explains why the Jedi need to end. But we never found out what that other lesson was, and it just deleted scenes. So it's basically him giving her the basics of the Force, like when Obi-Wan was first teaching Luke. First he puts the blaster helmet on and he starts to feel with the Force. Then later in Empire, when he's on Dagobah, he learns about the Force Cave, so Rey gets a lot of those same lessons that Luke got, just albeit in different forms.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
There was another long scene between Rey and the caretakers on the island. Remember, she just continually pissed them off more and more, destroying parts of their hut with blaster fire, chopping up pieces of the island, destroying their work, just creating a lot more for them to do. So they were just incredibly annoyed with her. As they climb up to the Jedi Temple, she says, I get the feeling that they don't like me very much. And Luke jokes, I can't imagine why. So there were scenes before that happened where she just did more things to piss them off and try to apologize. There was another big scene with Finn and Poe at the beginning of the film where he's leaking and he comes in and it's this really funny scene where they try to get him centered before he starts asking questions about Rey. They say it's kind of a setup scene at the beginning where Poe was kind of bringing Finn up to speed after he comes out of his coma. God, there's a bunch of really fun stuff. We talk more about them when the Blu-ray comes out, but I'm excited for folks to see them, talking about all the deleted scenes. So this was taken a while ago. They've already done the commentary for the Blu-ray track. Rian Johnson actually posted a picture of himself as he said he was sitting down to record the commentary track. But when it comes time to picking the bonus features that go on the Blu-ray, they go through all the deleted scenes because there's hours and hours of things that they could put on it, but really only about 20 minutes worth of solid finished scenes that actually look like they belong in the movie. And it's not just alternate versions of scenes that you've already seen. It's a completely different stuff that they just lifted out of the film because it wasn't absolutely necessary. But a lot of you will joke that you could cut a lot of that Canto Bight stuff out of the movie and it would still work, because it's really predicated on the idea that Admiral Holdo withholds a bunch of information from Poe's character, so he starts that resistance within the resistance that creates the need for them to go to Canto Bight, whereas if she had told him the truth at the beginning, then they wouldn't have needed the secret plan to go get DJ, but it would have basically cut them out of the film. And a lot of people are wondering about John Boyega's character, because now that Finn has effectively taken care of Phasma, there's not a whole lot for him to do. Like, he's a member of the Resistance, so he'll just go out on missions with Poe Dameron, who's taking more of a leadership role. But in terms of his arc, he's come full circle. Like, he leaves the First Order, he leaves Phasma, his commander, then comes back, tries to help the Resistance, and in doing so confronts her, defeats her, and it's all said and done. The one with the unresolved arc right now is Rey, because she has to consider what the future of the Jedi Order is going to be. What path is she going to take? She needs to repair that lightsaber. She needs to confront Kylo Ren again. So if you were disappointed that Rey and the Force users didn't get that much story during Last Jedi, that's going to be very different during Episode 9. Because you have this big space battle between the two different fleets, but then you also have the final confrontation with Rey and Kylo Ren. So it'll be interesting to see how they weave in the other side characters into this, like Rose and Finn. Like, what are they going to be doing while this stuff is going on? Because the path of Rey and Kylo Ren just seem a lot more clear at this point. We know what Kylo Ren wants. He wants Rey, and he wants to bring order to the galaxy, and we know what Rey wants. She wants to find her place in all this and bring balance to the Force, whatever form that takes. But hopefully that explains why they cut some of those deleted scenes. Justice League was a different scenario. That's a movie where they cut a bunch of stuff out to get the movie down under 2 hours. That was not the case with Star Wars The Last Jedi. They just cut that stuff out because they felt like it hurt the story, like it slowed things down even more than they were already slowed down at certain points. But my next Star Wars video will probably be about Luke Skywalker, because the director has revealed so much about that from behind the scenes, so it's actually pretty fascinating the way he envisioned it. Depending on whether or not people received it that way is a different matter. But congratulations to the latest ticket giveaway winner, Dragon1608. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. I'll just do a new round when I post new Star Wars. You can click here to learn all about the Episode 9 title, and you can click here for all my Last Jedi Easter eggs and cameos. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.